Words are not just sounds. They are the invisible threads that connect your thoughts to the hearts and minds of others. Every sentence you speak has the power to inspire, to heal, or to destroy, depending on how consciously you choose each word. People often underestimate how language shapes perception, but leaders understand that mastery of words is mastery of influence itself. In this audiobook, you will discover how great leaders use their voice and language to create confidence, trust, and inspiration. You will learn how to transform ordinary speech into messages that move people toward action and lasting positive change. But before we go deeper, pause for a moment and think about the last time someone's words truly changed how you felt. That single moment proves one truth: words are energy, and when used with purpose, they can alter any situation or outcome. A leader's strength is not measured by volume, but by the clarity, calm, and conviction within every word they deliver. Your tone, your rhythm, and even your pauses tell stories long before your sentences finish reaching another person's ears. The secret lies not in speaking more, but in speaking better, where silence itself becomes part of your persuasive language. When you learn to speak like a leader, your presence begins to command attention without demanding it, creating respect effortlessly. This journey will teach you how to replace nervous words with powerful ones, how to express certainty even when you feel unsure inside. We will uncover techniques used by powerful speakers, from presidents to entrepreneurs, who knew that speech could shape destiny itself. If you've ever felt unheard or ignored, this guide will show you how to make every word you speak truly unforgettable. Imagine walking into a room and feeling your voice shift the energy, making others listen not out of obligation, but curiosity. That transformation is possible, and it begins by learning to align your thoughts, emotions, and words into one clear, confident message. Because when your words and emotions work together, people not only hear you, they believe you, they follow you, they trust you. Speaking like a leader is not a talent you are born with. It is a skill that grows through awareness and intention. Every time you speak, you have two choices: to fill space with noise or to create impact through purpose. In the chapters ahead, you will learn how to build that purpose, craft your tone, and speak words that truly move the world. To speak like a leader, you must first understand that leadership begins not with power over others, but with control over yourself. Your words are reflections of your inner state, and when your emotions are scattered, your message loses strength before it ever lands. True leaders do not rush to speak. They listen deeply, gather their thoughts, and then deliver words that carry precision and purpose. Every conversation becomes an opportunity to plant seeds of influence, but only if your words are chosen with awareness and emotional balance. You must learn to pause before you speak, allowing your mind to form clarity instead of reacting from confusion or ego. This simple pause separates impulsive speakers from powerful communicators who lead with calm, control, and quiet authority. When you speak from calmness, your voice automatically gains depth, your tone steadies, and your message begins to sound naturally confident. People around you can sense your emotional stability through your words, and that stability earns more trust than any title or position. It's not about using difficult vocabulary or rehearsed speeches. It's about making people feel understood through your tone and intention. A leader's voice is not loud but steady, not dramatic but grounded, and that quality makes listeners feel safe and guided. Think of how great leaders like Nelson Mandela or Martin Luther King Jr. spoke: slow, deliberate, every word carrying weight and meaning. They mastered the art of silence between sentences because they knew impact often hides in the spaces between spoken words. Your tone carries the emotion behind your message, and if your tone lacks warmth or certainty, no amount of logic can persuade. To master your tone, you must first master your inner dialogue, because the words you speak to yourself echo in every conversation. Start observing the phrases you repeat internally. Are they empowering or limiting, uplifting or filled with doubt? Change your inner language, and your outer communication will transform automatically, allowing you to speak from conviction instead of fear. Every great communicator began by learning this. Confidence is not shouting louder, but feeling aligned with the truth you're sharing. When your message connects to your values, people sense honesty in your words, and authenticity becomes your strongest leadership tool. This kind of communication doesn't manipulate. It moves hearts because it's built on sincerity and respect, not dominance or control. So, before your next conversation, breathe deeply, silence your mind, and remind yourself that every word you speak can either heal or harm. That single awareness will begin to shape you into a leader whose presence speaks louder than noise and whose silence holds real authority. The real power of speaking like a leader comes from your ability to connect deeply, not just to communicate information. People don't remember the exact words you say. They remember how your words made them feel long after the conversation has ended. When you speak with empathy, your words begin to bridge gaps that logic alone could never fill, creating genuine emotional understanding. Leadership communication is not about commanding people, but guiding them through language that inspires confidence instead of fear. If your words uplift others, they will follow you, not because they have to, but because they genuinely want to. Your speech should make people believe that they are capable, valuable, and part of something greater than themselves. Every great leader speaks with a rhythm that mirrors certainty, steady, unhurried, and free from the need to impress. Your calm tone tells people that you are sure of what you're saying, even when situations around you are uncertain or chaotic. And that calmness spreads like energy, giving others a sense of security that they begin to associate with your leadership. To develop that skill, practice mindful speaking, where each sentence is intentional, clear, and directed toward creating understanding rather than winning arguments. Most people listen to respond, but leaders listen to understand, and that difference changes the entire direction of a conversation. When people feel heard, they automatically become more open to hearing you, and your words start to carry genuine authority. Speaking like a leader also means knowing when not to speak, because silence can sometimes deliver more power than 1,000 words. The spaces between your words allow your message to breathe, giving listeners time to process, reflect, and connect emotionally. This balance between sound and silence is the rhythm of effective leadership. It builds anticipation and keeps attention naturally focused. Every great speech contains both power and peace, both certainty and humility, woven together through words that are clear yet compassionate. If you want to influence people, speak to their emotions first, because emotions decide faster than logic ever can. Use words that paint pictures in the listener's mind, vivid, relatable, and full of sincerity, because imagination drives belief. The power of storytelling is one of the greatest tools in leadership communication. It transforms facts into feelings that stick forever. When you share stories instead of instructions, people find their own meaning within your message, and that personal connection builds loyalty. So remember, Your voice doesn't just communicate your ideas, it carries your energy, emotions, and vision into the hearts of those who hear you. That is the true art of speaking like a leader, not to dominate minds, but to awaken hearts through the power of meaningful words. Speaking like a leader is not about perfection, it's about purpose, presence, and the courage to use your voice for good. Every word you release carries energy that can either elevate someone's spirit or weigh them down, depending on your intention behind it. True leadership communication begins when you start caring more about connection than attention and more about impact than impression. When your purpose is clear, your words automatically gain direction, and people begin to feel guided rather than persuaded. The tone of your voice becomes a reflection of your inner peace, showing the world that confidence can exist without aggression. You no longer speak to prove your worth, you speak to share your truth, and that shift changes everything around you. Great leaders use language to unite, not divide, to bring clarity where confusion lives and hope where fear has grown. Every sentence becomes a tool of transformation, every pause an act of patience, and every word a spark of inspiration. To speak like a leader, you must first learn to think like one, calm, strategic, compassionate, and deeply aware of others. Observe your conversations throughout the day, and notice how tone shapes response more than the meaning of the actual words. When you soften your tone and strengthen your clarity, people start to listen differently, not out of habit, but out of respect. That respect is not demanded, it is earned, one authentic conversation at a time, through honesty and emotional intelligence. Your communication must always carry truth, because people can feel the difference between genuine conviction and rehearsed performance. When your message aligns with your actions, your words gain power far beyond what any motivational technique can ever create. A leader's voice doesn't echo because it's loud. It echoes because it's real, consistent, and rooted in empathy and courage. So, from today, speak as if your words are seeds. Plant them carefully, nurture them, and watch them grow into meaningful change. Let your conversations become reminders of hope, your tone a source of calm, and your language a bridge between minds and hearts. Because leadership through words is not a skill to show off, it's a gift to share with those who need guidance. And as you learn to master this art, remember that every time you speak with purpose, you reshape the world in small, beautiful ways. That is the power of words, the invisible force that turns ordinary voices into leaders and simple sentences into legacies that never fade.